We continue talking football, per usual. That's what we do. We talk football during football season. Find us on your radio dial. It's AM 1600 as well. You can listen online at 1600thebeach.com. Of course, a big game this weekend, this Saturday, Florida State at North Carolina State. Let's bring in their head football coach of the North Carolina State Wolfpack. He is Tom Obrien, joining us right now. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing fine. You?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. How's the weather up in North Carolina?
Well, it's about 80-some degrees, and let me see. Look out my window. It looks a little cloudy.
A little cloudy, just like down here. I think we're about 82, maybe a little bit more, and we're kind of cloudy down here as well. Coach, my grandfather, he's a Naval Academy graduate, class of 1953. He would be disappointed in me if I did not ask you about playing at Navy. Do you have a go-to story about your time there?
No, just it was a great experience, and more importantly, the people that I met there, my classmates and I'm sure it's probably the same. They're my friends for life. They're my brothers from another mother, as we say to each other. So it's it's a great place. It's a great place to be from. Sometimes it wasn't fun being a plebe and doing some of the other things, but it's certainly a great place to be from. And probably the best story is, my plebe year, we beat Army, but, we weren't eligible. Freshmen weren't eligible to play then. When I played, we lost my youngster in my second class year, but, first class year, we beat Army, and that's the only thing that matters when you graduate from the Naval Academy.
I will definitely pass that along. My grandfather will be pleased. Are your players really amped up with facing this top 3 FSU team?
Well, I think they're ready for the challenge. It's always a great challenge to play against the best team in our conference, and certainly through the first 5 games, Florida State has earned all the accolades that they've accrued to this point. Tremendous football team, and it's always great to try to take on the best in your conference.
Tom Obrien joining us, head football coach at North Carolina State. They host Florida State this Saturday at 8 o'clock in the Hall of Fame Day game up in Raleigh. Now, Coach, how many top 5 teams have you faced in your coaching career?
Geez, I don't know. Probably not many.
Yeah. Do you think this is maybe the best team that you've faced in your career coming up?
Yeah, I think that, you can see this, that they've been building this program the last 4 or 5 years. You can see things turning around, and, certainly after, they shellacked us last year in Tallahassee, I think I said that, they're certainly on their way back, and, it's as talented as any team. Last year Clemson came in here. I think they were 6 or 7 in the country, and so it's a similar situation.
Is there more energy in that stadium up there for primetime games? I'm sure like anywhere else.
Oh, yeah, I think certainly there is, and I think obviously things surround certain games, and with the fact that this is national TV and it's 8 o'clock at night, plus we were on the road. We've been we played 3 games, and we've only had 2 home games in the month of September, and this is our only home game in the month of October. So, I think our fans will be ready to let it go on Saturday night.
A chat with Tom Obrien joining us right here. It is 1600 The Beach. Find us on your radio dial. It is AM 1600 and Miller on Sports. I tell you what, I really like your senior quarterback, the 6'6" Mike Glennon. Has he improved just maybe since that 4 interception game against Tennessee?
Yeah, he certainly has, and I think that was a tough start for him, but he's very resilient. He works extremely hard, and he's getting better each and every week.
How's the health of your NC State offensive line?
We're pretty banged up right now. We ended up the second half of Miami. We didn't have one guy in a position that we started the season with, injury-wise. So we're a little bit banged up, but that's the way it is, and we'll have to go play the game Saturday night with the healthy bodies that we have left.
Well, we know how that goes down here in Jacksonville. We've seen it quite a bit with the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line beat up. We saw it back in 2008 with this Jags team. Are you of the belief, and I talked to a lot of coaches about this, but are games won and lost at the line of scrimmage?
Oh, I think there's definitely in the trenches. I mean, offensively and defensively, if you control the line of scrimmage, you're going to give yourself a great chance to win the football game.
Tom Obrien joining us right now with Miller on Sports. NC State, they set a school record with 674 yards of total offense against Miami last week. Do you want to get into a shootout with the Noles, or do you want to do the opposite?
No, I'm not big into shootouts. I like 10-7 games better than anything else. I like defensive, when your defense plays well and has control of the game, and and you have to make a play to win the game. I don't like this. Guys go like we did Saturday, end up in a scoring race, and everybody's got the ball and nobody stops anybody.
How do you attack the Florida State defense? Is it mainly protect your quarterback and try and find some openings downfield?
Well, you have to protect your quarterback to start with, and that's easier said than done, especially with both Carradine and Warner out there at the end. They lead the conference in tackles for loss. They lead the conference in sacks. So, they're a tough tandem to handle because you can't just. A lot of teams you can pick out one guy that you have to make sure that you eliminate. It's awful difficult to eliminate two, and then still have those big guys pounding you up the middle.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do you treat this like any other game, or is it, you notice that this is a prime time big game?
No, I think we treat each game the same, but, certainly as you said before, I think, with all the hoopla around the game and the fact it's national TV and it's a Saturday night at 8 o'clock, I think all those things make it something special.
How much do you sleep during the season? Is it quite a bit, or is it restless nights?
No, I don't think any coach sleeps through the night. So I mean, those things. It's just the way it is. When you're in season, you sleep a little bit here and there, and keep waking up and try to go back to bed.
Have you found a weakness with this Florida State team on game film?
No, we haven't seen anything right now, because no one else has found it. So. We'll keep searching and see if we can come up with something that will work here on Saturday night.
Tom Obrien joining us. He is a head football coach at North Carolina State. They host Florida State this Saturday at 8 o'clock. Coach, it was a pleasure. Thanks again, and best of luck on Saturday.
All right, Richard, thanks. Say hi to your grandfather for me.
I will, definitely. Thank you so much. Tom Obrien right there on Miller on Sports. Should be an interesting game this Saturday at 8 o'clock. It hasn't found a weakness. And I was actually going through the schedule a little earlier today, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, the last time North Carolina State hosted a Florida State team that was ranked this high, it was back in 1998. And if my notes serve me correctly, and all my study bugs and everything, that's what I call them now. I don't know why. All our researchers with Miller on Sports, that is the last time the Wolfpack hosted a top 5, and I think actually a top 10 team, was back in 1998 at home. That to me is amazing. Tom Obrien and the Wolfpack, it could get bad. It could get really tough in that Hall of Fame Day game. Because the Noles, like you said, they haven't found a weakness on film, nor have other teams. I think, though, against Florida State, you try and just keep them on the field as long as you can for their defense, and you just pass as much as you can, as deep as you can, try and find some openings, kind of like the Clemson game. But for North Carolina State, you come off that Miami loss, a shootout. Miami just puts up crazy numbers on you. Offensively, it was like a circus last Saturday. It's going to be a tough game. I did see on the conference call where Tom Obrien was talking about the defensive ends for Florida State. Most notably, and he's probably going to be the best defensive end that comes out into the NFL come April. That's Bjorn Werner. How do you stop that? Do you contain him? What do you do? Is there a recipe for doing such? And like Coach even said, not a fan of the shootout. Well, if you're not a fan of the shootout, that means contain E.J. Manuel. And maybe you start watching that USF film, and I'm glad Coach Tom Obrien could join us, but he's not going to give away any secrets. Very few head coaches are going to give away secrets. That's not what they do. But you're facing a Florida State team that is the best, third best team in the country. It's Alabama, far and away. Somebody was joking the other day, can't remember where I was, but they said Alabama, they are the top 10 teams in the country right now. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Oregon, throw in Florida State, throw in maybe West Virginia, and maybe a few others. Yesterday I picked 6. Okay, Tuesday afternoon I said there's 6 teams, this is what they can do. But for Tom Obrien and the Wolfpack, it could be a long Saturday night. I don't think he's going to sleep at all this week. I doubt he's going to sleep at all maybe next week. But if the Wolfpack can get a win, oh my goodness. maybe one of the biggest wins in program history, if not the biggest. Is that going to occur? I don't think so. I'd say there's a 99% chance that North Carolina State does not win, and Florida State wins, and maybe quite handily. Glad we could get Tom Obrien on the program. He hung up very sweetly as well. Glad we could do that. We'll do it again sometime soon. Also, football season. It's stressful. It's tiring. Long days. Woe is me. Coming up, we'll talk more football. We'll have more fun. Make sure you find us on Facebook, on Twitter. It's Miller on Sports. And you can always listen online at 1600thebeach.com.